Championship leader McLaren's Oscar Piastri has escaped a penalty at the next race in Singapore, given the sport's recent rule that 5-second time penalties can't be carried over. Piastri jumped the start at the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, with the Aussie ace reining it in before relaunching, triggering anti-stall, which dropped him to the back of the pack for turn 1. But just 2 corners later, he went into the barrier at turn 3 and out of the race, closing out his perfect finishing record this season, along with a 34-race hot streak in the points and 44-race finishing streak. It was also Piastri's first lap 1 retirement since the 2023 Belgian Grand Prix. In the aftermath, the stewards reviewed positioning and marshalling system data, video, timing, team, and in-car video evidence, and that the video evidence clearly showed the car moving prior to the start signal for the race was given. Williams was elated with Carlos Sainz's maiden podium for the team in Baku, its first since the 2021 Belgian Grand Prix, which had just 3 racing laps. But it was a different story for teammate Alex Albon, who finished in 13th, following penalties for his collision with Alpine's Franco Colapinto. On lap 16, Albon botched his pass on the Argentine at turn 5, with the steward stating he did not have the right to the corner. With their determination reporting, car 23 Albon attempted to overtake car 43 Colapinto on the inside, however did not have his front axle level with the mirror of car 43. Car 43 was in control and taking the normal racing line. Azerbaijan's future on the Formula One calendar has been secured, with the Land of Fire signing an extension with the sport that will take it through to 2030, well beyond its milestone 10th race next year. Baku made its debut on the F1 calendar in 2016, though it began as the European Grand Prix, before a rebrand to its national race. 2025 marked the 9th edition held on its city streets. After Imola's last race this season, just 3 events are out of contract after 2026, including Zandvoort, which will end its deal. Barcelona could become an alternating feature. Austin is hopeful for an extension. XF1 pilot Jolyon Palmer says Mercedes driver Andrea Kimi Antonelli just needs a string of cleaner weekends to help him reset from what has been a rollercoaster rookie season. Antonelli rode into his rookie year on a wave of hype, but has struggled to match his teammate George Russell on pace, with mistakes like wheel spin at the start of the Italian Grand Prix. But while 4th in Baku could be a turning point, Palmer, in a chat with official podcast F1 Nation, says things can turn around with some smoother races.
I still think he's talented, I still think he's good, but I think he needs to just get back to solid weekends and think maybe I just need to be a solid Formula One driver first.
Cadillac's F1 team continued to build its stateside profile last week, with Mexican Sergio Perez joining the Los Angeles Dodgers to throw the first pitch at its game against the Philadelphia Phillies. Checo arrived at Dodger Stadium to meet the 2024 Major League World Series champions, including pitcher Tyler Glasnow, who eased him into practice ahead of his big moment. The 6-time Grand Prix winner delivered, though, with a successful pitch in front of the fans and cameras, and then spoke to the local media about him being a guest at a sporting event for once.
Yeah, it's been great. It's always impressive to see a different sport, different perspectives. You know, they do so many games. The way they are just so relaxed before the game, it's great, and they're great guys.
Checo heads to the UK this week, where it's expected that he will test an F1 car likely to be a Ferrari as Cadillac's engine supplier, to prepare his body, especially his neck, for racing. Ferrari's Lewis Hamilton made a striking admission in Azerbaijan that he had sold his entire car collection to focus on art. The 7-time world champion has struggled throughout this season to adapt in his Scuderia shift, with the sole highlight his sprint pole and win in China. But while the Brit continues to fight, he's simplified his private life, cleaning out garages that were reported to house his alleged $17 million car collection. Hamilton is reportedly worth $285 million, with his annual base salary from the prancing horse coming in at $60 million, $5 million behind top F1 earner Red Bull's Max Verstappen. I got rid of all my cars. I'm more into art nowadays. If I was going to get a car, it would be the F40, but that's a nice piece of art, he said. Ex-Ferrari technical director Enrico Cardile is already making waves at Aston Martin, according to its CEO and team principal Andy Cowell, with the Italian completing its top-line technical lineup. Cardile arrived at Aston Martin in August, following a court-enforced 12 months of gardening leave, and is now working on the squad's 2026 car, the tech team for which is smiling at the results they're seeing. Aston Martin has struggled over the last 2 years, a stark contrast to its breakout 2023 season when it scored 8 podiums. And it's hoped that 2026's new regulations and a stellar technical team that includes F1 design guru Adrian Newey can bring it back from the brink, with Cardile the final piece of the puzzle. He's not been with us for long, but the team can feel that experience already through the early impact he's had. And I'm excited to see how that develops further as he fully embeds himself and gets to know everyone, Cowell said. Cadillac's team principal Graham Loudon says Colton Herta's ascent to a race seat with the team is by no means assured, despite his close links with the project and brand. Herta has sensationally quit a lucrative Andretti IndyCar drive for a chance in F1, with the 25-year-old joining Cadillac in 2026 as a test driver, a role he'll dovetail with an F2 race seat. But Loudon, in a chat with F1's official podcast Beyond the Grid, says when the time comes, Herta has to earn a future promotion, even if he then has the required 40 points to get a super license from the FIA.
There's no given here. You know, if he gets another 6 points, that doesn't put him in our race car at all. Nobody races forever, so at some stage we're going to change drivers and there'll be an opportunity, but there's no given here. This isn't an exercise to just get some points and then we put Colton in. You know, we're constantly looking for, you know, what's best for the team, and it could well be Colton.
Thanks for watching. To stay up to speed on all things Formula One, make sure you hit the subscribe button.